Que bueno, mi gente, Calix Boxing here. Few fights in boxing, modern boxing history, live up to the hype, live up to the pre fight hype. I'd say over 95% don't live up to the hype, end up coming to fight night and they end up being a dud. However, almost 2 decades ago, December 19th, 1997 was an incredible fight that did live up to the hype, and there was a lot of hype behind it. There was a lot of pre-fight trash talk, and the fight lived up to that hype. The fight I'm talking about, Prince Naseem Hamed versus Kevin Kelley. I'm sure everyone knows who Prince Naseem Hamed is. I'm sure all hardcore boxing fans have seen this fight because for me in the Calix household, this is top five, one of my top five favorite fights. I've probably watched this fight over 50 times. Just an incredible fight with the ring entrances, and what I distinctly remember about this fight is watching this fight with my dad, who didn't really watch boxing, and watching his face as Prince Naseem Hamed does his ring entrance. That lasts over 10 minutes. Many different songs in this ring entrance, and he flips over the top rope, and my dad is like, "Man, what is this?" Prince Naseem Hamed, he just got it, man. He understood how to sell a fight. He understood how to put butts in seats. He understood how to bring different people into the tent, and he was just Prince Naseem in his prime, man. It was just beautiful to watch, beautiful to watch, and what I remember about this fight, two things. I remember Larry Merchant saying, as Prince Naseem is walking to the ring, he says, "This is the end of Western civilization as we know it." And still, every time I watch that line cracks me up. Because he's just insinuating, like, man, first of all, how long is it going to take this guy to get into the ring? And second of all, what is this? And it was just fun to watch because those of us who really watch boxing had seen this guy for a couple of years with these antics and doing this stuff and knew how fun he was. But this is his first time in the States. This was Prince Naseem's European invasion into New York, into the States, and this was Kevin Kelley trying to defend New York against this outsider, against this foreigner. And stylistically, it played out well because you had the unorthodox style of Prince Naseem Hamed, who had a near perfect KO percentage, just unbelievable punching power for the featherweight division. And you had Kevin Kelley, who also had power but was technically sound, also a southpaw, 7-inch reach advantage against Prince Naseem. So coming in, there were a lot of people that thought Prince Naseem was all hype, that we have this technical boxer here who's going to expose, slow him down, methodically break him down, and expose Prince Naseem. Pretty much, people thought Kevin Kelley was going. A lot of people thought Kevin Kelley was going to do to Prince Naseem what Barrera ended up doing to Prince Naseem, pretty much expose him and break him down. And we get to the actual fight, and just an incredible fight. The other thing I remember about Larry Merchant, after the fight ends, he says that this is the featherweight division's version of Hagler Hearns. And then I remember George Foreman when Prince Naseem knocks Kevin Kelley down the first time. He goes, "Ooh!" And then after the fight, he goes, "The Prince is real. The Prince is for real. The Prince is for real." I remember that too, and it was just a great fight because Hamed went down in the first, second, and fourth round. They had 6 knockdowns in this fight, and it was just back and forth. He goes down in the first. Then he goes down again in the second, and right after he goes down, he knocks Kevin Kelley down in the second round. And then Hamed, I believe he knocked Kelley down the first time in the fourth round, and then Hamed knocked him down in the fourth round, and then Hamed knocked him down, or Kelley knocked him down in the fourth round, and then Hamed came and knocked him down again in the fourth round for the second time. And the referee stepped in and called the fight. And it was just a fun back and forth fight. And what I like about the fight is it wasn't what people expected, because people expected Kevin Kelley to do much like what Bernard Hopkins did against Joe Calzaghe when Joe Calzaghe came to fight at Madison Square Garden. They expected him to stink the fight out, slow him down, stink it out, try to grapple a lot, and just slow the fight down, chop it up, and win on decision. When Kevin Kelley, and what I respect about this to this day about Kevin Kelley is he understood the moment. He understood that, hey, this is bigger than us. Everybody turned out tonight to see a great fight, to see an entertaining fight. I'm going to try to beat Prince Naseem at his own game. I'm going to try to steal his fan base. A lot of people came out to boo Prince Naseem, but they really showed up for Prince Naseem, if you know what I mean. I mean, they were there for Prince Naseem Hamed. They were cheering for Kevin Kelley, but they were there for Prince Naseem Hamed. And Kevin Kelley understood the moment, and he's like, I'm going to beat him at his own game tonight. Ended up maybe being a mistake, but I always have respect for Kevin Kelley for that. He understood that, hey, we can have a classic here. We got to build this hype. This is a big fight. We got to make this live up to the hype. And he fought Prince Naseem at his own game. He dropped his hands. He swung for the fences. Even his trainer was saying, "Hey, you gotta jab. You gotta slow yourself down. You gotta calm down." And Kevin Kelley was like, "Nah." He went back in the ring. He was like, "Nah, I'm going after this guy." And it was just a fun fight because of that. Kevin Kelley fought Prince Naseem's fight, and it ended up being a great fight because of it. And what's odd is even though that was Kevin Kelley's 51st fight. I mean, he was up there at that time. He was a pro for like 9 years at that point. He still fought 12 more years up until 2009. I mean, he stayed in the ring way too long, had 72 fights. And Prince Naseem, what's odd about that, he had only 6 or 7 more fights after that, I believe. He ended up retiring in 2002. He was exposed by Marco Antonio Barrera in 2001. And never recovered from that. He fought a guy named Manuel Calvo over a year after that loss and looked terrible and then just retired. Some guys just don't mentally have it, and when they get exposed like that, they just go under a rock and into hiding. And unfortunately, that was Prince Naseem Hamed because he had a ton of talent. The talent was off the charts, just not all there upstairs. And what's also interesting about this fight is Kelley was also up on 2 of the scorecards in this fight. But just a great fight. If you haven't seen this fight, if you've been living under a rock, go watch it. Go watch it. I mean, just great from start to finish. It's a fight that you don't want to fast forward past the ring entrances either. Even Kevin Kelley's ring entrance was fun, and I'll never forget. As Prince Naseem Hamed's taking forever to get into the ring, Kevin Kelley's on the rope, jumps on the ropes, and he starts screaming to the crowd like, "Bring this guy in the ring, get this guy in the ring." And then Hamed flips over the ropes, and then Kevin Kelley immediately steps into his face, and they go back and forth. They're yelling at each other, they're talking trash, and then once the bell rings, it just lives up to the hype. It's just a great fight, back and forth action for 4 rounds, and just beautiful stuff. So hit me up. Let me know what y'all thought about this fight. Is this one of y'all's one of y'all's favorites? Because this is probably in my top 5. I love this fight. Hit me up. Peace.